you're open, you like love sour, then you should come try my poison. She said, I grew up in the Garden of Eden, and ever since then, my lying eyes are deceiving. And there must be something wrong, 'cause I can feel her crawling around in my chest. Every time I try to pick her apart, she wraps herself around my neck. This girl. Flower.
Okay, good morning. I forgot my green screen, so give me 1 second. Let me get that sorted out. Hope you guys are having a good morning. I forgot my green screen. Okay, there we go. So, good morning, greetings, and salutations, and all the good stuff. It's good to see you guys again, and stuff. Okay, we're getting back into pod racing, and of course, I had to go as usual and finish. We actually had to go and rebuild and start again. But that's okay. We figured out a lot of issues, and my God, the issues with this thing. I can't even begin to start. The biggest thing around the Podracer, and I'm going to go over this again. Hey, Lady Light. Okay, so let's just say good morning first. Good morning, Dirty Draws, a Skuldron. What up? Dirty Draws, Rooster, Lady Light, and Kitty. Bram Ritter, hey. Yep, okay, so I can't even do the reveal because I'm over on this side, popping in. I was trying to fool around with this housing that Bram Ritter so graciously came up with last night. And he was like so excited about it. He was like, you have to try this. You have to try this. So, I very begrudgingly said, okay, fine, I will listen to you. And went ahead and it's the side. Oh, okay. And used these beams as the arc beam in between the two engines. Projector, output projector. Here we go. Now I can see what's happening on my bigger screen. Let's get this up. And what I'm looking for right now is a light. This is the fish market light from Ninjago. And it's a very particular one. This one right here. It's very what's the word we're looking for here? It's not organic at all. It's a more technical looking light, but it works great for stuff like this. I've actually used it on the TIE Fighter, not TIE Fighter, on the X-Wing. And right now it's going to come in clutch as my arc reactor light. So we have two things going on there. So, meet the Podracer. Let's give you guys a nice look at it. This is the other one that we were building yesterday. We are going to complete this, but I did have to stop and do a complete build so that I could go and test out the engine theory and work out any kinks. And by God, we had so many kinks. But let's take a nice look at it before we go flying. Two engines lashed together, enslaved with the arc thing there. So they're slaved together. to function differently than they normally would. Most of these engines were like unhoused engines, so they didn't have all the shielding and everything that you normally get in a spaceship. And the pod racers would just smack some, just throw a leash on it, and just make it work together. So now we're gonna go on a little bit of a trip. Oh, of course it's night, but you know what? Night is dramatic. Let's go. All right. Of course, this is gonna fly just like the others, but the main point about this one is that it's supposed to. Did I tweak it? I was making some more tweaks. I did add another thruster, so that may be playing with what's going on right now. Yeah, that other thruster is continuing to pull it up in the air. So 1 second, guys. Let me just fix that. We've got 2 thrusters in here. This is channel. Okay, so nothing there. Channel 3. What the heck, man? Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my axe and I'm gonna break it open. Oh, that was a mistake. I just deleted both of them. You know what? Easy fix. Easy fix. Here. This is what I will do instead. I'll get a thruster. This is where modular comes in useful. Because with modular, you can put things in increments. Of course, now it's... okay, fine. I'll do the same thing over here. Then just add this back here. Nope. At least now it's equal on both sides. So I'm going to drive this back out and I'm going to fix that. So here we go. Up and oh. And it's not even pulling. But it is behaving. The problem with this one, I think, was that it kept... Oh my God, it's actually working the way it's supposed to. Good God. Who would have thunk it? I swear this was not behaving last night. But here we are. We got a pod racer. Now it's got to focus on speed and a nice race course. Oops. Of course, you're going to have to learn how to fly all over again because something like this, it does require you to pay attention. Like a lot of attention. Because you can do your loop-the-loops and everything, but unless you have control of how your engine is going to be sitting and when it is going to turn on and off, you're going to have some issues. And you're going to end up in the sky. Now, if you can keep it close to the ground, and just control where that nose is going to be, then you're in good shape. You see the empty island? This empty island means the eye was here. No, no grass or anything. Oh, we so need black triangle pieces. Black triangle pieces would be key. Let's see what they bring in the next pass. The Star Wars pass should be quite interesting, but the next Ninjago pass actually makes me quite interested. Not gonna lie to you. See, now it operates differently on land. There we go. Now we're pod racing. Set up obstacle course. Ah, see how many times you crash. Pretty much all the times. So, what do you guys think of the Podracer? Is it doing everything that you thought a Podracer should? Except, you know, take out trees. But that's just a personal vendetta that I have. Me versus the tree. Alright, I'm going to take this back over. W in the chat if you guys like the Podracer. Do you approve? Let's see those W's. Come on. I'm going to set Jada to build a nice race course. Ah! We've got some really, really good courses over here in the Lost Isle. I'll tell you that right now. Especially when you combine the ocean and the land. Over on the ocean. You see that guy over there? Of course you guys see it. That little tunnel. Yeah, you guys, you know you want. It's the first thing you thought of when you saw it. What is happening? All right. Like, seriously, what's happening here? Okay, now stop. 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 Come on, chat. Don't be shy. Right, so Maddie has already started on his pod racer, and Bram Ritter. No, come back. Ah, no, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this. TIE Fighter, thread the needle. Everything we build, we try to thread that needle. Can I make it? Yes, I can. All right. All right. Let's take this back over to base. Like I said, you have to learn how to fly all over again, but totally worth it. This is not a new world. This is the same world as the where all the other builds are. It's just we are over in the Lost Isles, where we have built absolutely nothing. So Lost Isles is an empty territory right now. So there's less lag over here. And now the only thing that's going to be over here is the race course. All right, let me put this back over here. So we can see what's going on. And we can continue the build from yesterday, which is actually a lot simpler than you might think. Now, you don't have to go and do all this complicated stuff unless you want to have a certain measure of control over your build. If you wanted to have an easy way to get through the build, you can simply throw down, a post, turn some of these walls on their side. There's quite a variety of these walls, and you can build yourself a tunnel. You have your housing here, and it's a little bit more color. Then it's up to you to really figure out how to build the rest of your. Ooh, you got red here, but some of you are kind of stuck on color and everything. So this might be the option for you, where you want your red or whatever, and you can go ahead and build out to your heart's content. There are massive limitations with this system, however, but I do want to point out that there are other ways to build, and no one is stopping you from doing that. I'm just giving you how I would do it to have the most level of control. Pretty much that's all I can do. Yeah, we need a pod world. We're the pod people. All right, hey, Sulevs, Taz. Okay, Johnny's here. Jaded is here. Maddie's here. Palmer Pansy, hey, good afternoon to you. Good morning on our side. All right, so yesterday we were on this section. I was fooling around with this, but now that we have new solutions from courtesy of Bram Ritter. Thank you, Bram. Put a link to Bram Ritter in the chat, please. Bram Ritter is one of the excellent builders in the chat, and he's also a streamer. So go check out his stream sometime. You'll learn something new, of course. We're always learning something new. Okay, so the dynamics have really changed in here. So I've had to kind of rethink a little bit of what we were doing yesterday. The biggest takeaway is that we need to have our two flotation devices in here. Now, the biggest difference between this one and this one is that the balloon is upright, but that should not be anything that stops you. We have the upright thrusters on the bottom right here. This is the channel. This one should be channel 3. Okay, channel 3. And this is channel nothing because that doesn't really belong there. But the whole point is that the thrusters, there's no actual thrusters in here. Now we do have to put some additional thrusters in the bottom opposite here, and these go to oh, that may be why. Okay, so I do need to bring in the floor. Bring that floor back. Yep, bring the floor back. Right there. Because we need to get this in right here. 2 and 3. And these go opposite. These are now going to be channel 1 instead of channel 2. And then over there, they're going to be channel 2 instead. So if you joined in yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. because you built this along with me. If is your first time here, surprise! We're building. Building is what we do. Building is our business. All right. So that brings us to this section. Now the next section is the back of it, and we're going to swap pieces now to, you know, whatever, but it needs to be a 2x4 piece. That is step down 1, 2, and that needs step down on both sides. So this one, step down 1, and then this is going to overlap. So 1, 2, and 1, 2. There. That should set us up properly. The next part of this, you know, we should probably just go ahead and do it over here as well, because we have a lot of the same things going on, and there's some changes that we need to make. So before I get too far ahead of myself there, we've got our side or up thrusters, and we have right there. So we're going to take our balloon, a single balloon, and then we're going to not do that anymore. This is going to come out, and that's going to come out. All right, let's get back on track, shall we? What the hey now? Thank you, sir. Get back on track. Okay, getting ahead of myself a little bit there. Oh, I need to put back on my night light so we can all see what's going on. So there's your night light. Now, on this side is channel 1. Well, on that side is channel 2. So we need to counter it now so that when channel 2 is activated, it actually has an opposite response and gives you a much faster turn. If you want that barrel roll, you do need to have this activated. Otherwise, your turns are going to be a little more sluggish. So there we go. Those 3, they counteract what's going on over here, give it more push, much faster turns, tighter turns, more control. You're welcome. Oh, speaking of you're welcome, did you guys see the new Moana trailer? Saw it yesterday. I'm actually impressed. I'm actually very much impressed. All right, so here we go. We got this one, and then 1, 1, 2, or just, you know, right there. Next piece, let's just do it all. So this gives us that one piece that we need. So this is why I'm actually so invested in putting this one down first. And there we go. So next we get our 6-piece. I just call this a 6-piece. Until it goes green. Green, there we go. Do the same thing over here. And it's, why aren't you going green before, buddy? What is your particular damage? I need you to be green up there. Like right there. Okay, so what are we going to have to do here? I don't want to have to cheat this. But it's a half stud. Maybe if I did this instead, would it do anything? Nope. It needs to be not annoying. Dang it, that was supposed to be the perfect measure. What happened? What happened, man? See, you're right in there. Maybe it's the back piece. Oh, okay. I think I see what's happening here. So, we need to do the bottom pieces first. Sequence is important. If you do it out of sequence, things can go wrong. Things will go wrong. So, the thing is, I didn't realize I was out of sequence. I just ended up doing these things first. So with this, we need to do two things here. First, one up. When you put this over, it's like one up. Then get your pressure plate, snap it, and this is what you're going to be coming off of. For this piece, I used the, what's it called, Mos Eisley half wall. Nice rounded piece. Smack it onto here, and I want to come all the way down here, because this is where this is going to live. Right there. Now the tricky thing is, this is only supposed to have a two gap. So watch where you put it. Make sure there's only two in between. There. Now, when I bring in the other piece, this one right here, this should go green right about here. Dang it! Still the same place. Ah! Okay. There goes my theory on life, the universe, and everything. Dang it, why aren't you working? Okay. We're going to have to resort to desperate measures. Let's see if it sticks to this. I mean, not it won't. I mean, I'm absolutely supremely confident. Yeah, look at that. Just like I planned all along. Frizzle, frazzle. Okay, now all we are counting on here is a little bit of Fortnite glue. Yep, that works. Okay, to be a little bit more serious about that, if we want that to stay, we're going to have to try to figure out how far in this piece so that can go all the way up. So let's be realistic what we're doing here. That piece is not supposed. Yeah, we got an issue. We got a tiny issue. Because this is supposed to sit on top of something else. That's not going to work. We're doing a lot of workarounds here. And if you ever need to put that piece back, you're going to have some issues. So let us plan ahead for that. And make sure that this is going to be fixable. No mucking around. All right, so I think the biggest thing that we can do for this is to use some of the generic pieces, because everybody's got those. So let's tack them. Oh, and let's tack them in a way that they can be actually activated. 1, 2. See this right there is the activation. So that needs to be 1, 2. So it's 1.5 because the third one goes onto here. So counting from the middle, we have 1.5 step down. So let's keep it flush. 1, 2, and then half step up. So I can go over here and bring this piece in now. Okay, so yeah, once it goes green, it's clear. Let's be absolutely sure about that one. Green, yep, it's fully on it. So we are good to go there. And we can now repeat that wherever we need to. So we don't have to worry about any odd pieces not being where they're supposed to be. You're welcome. Oh, really? Let's get rid of you. So you don't have a home there. And you're right there. What about you? Okay, there we go. Now on this side, we can just go there. All right. So now that we've done that, we can move on properly. Next section is this guy. We were a little bit early on that, but yeah, we got there. And this thing is, I'll show you why this was important to get into the right place and not just assume. Because this is actually supporting this huge thruster here. Yep, huge thruster. And it needs to be in the exact right position so it's not, you know, going too far, too low, or too high. So it's important. Details are important. Now we need to get the same kind of result from the top. We don't have a thing on top. Oh yeah, because I spent a lot of time just trying to figure out a couple of things for the bottom. So that got interesting, to say the least. But interesting is what we do, right? No, we actually don't like interesting. Interesting makes things too interesting. All right, so the back piece over here, we need to take this. We should have done this before, by the way, and bring it over and smack it on right there. That's the end of the line. That's your last thruster. So there you go. So we do the same thing over here. Why can't I see what's going on? Man, first person view while building would be so killer. So killer. Fortnite, can you hear us? Okay, what happened? What happened? It's like you're gone away. You used to be so funny, but now you're not. Wish you could tell me why. Huh. Okay, bye. Oh my God. Seriously, what is your damage, man? You fit perfectly the other way. Inconsistency. Oh, good God. All right, what do we have? What do we have here? We have full. We have full. Oh, we don't have a full. This doesn't match. Duh. Okay, so that was an operator error. Clearly operator error. Let me see if we can align this to that. There we go. See, I started at the wrong point. You start at the wrong point, everything goes to heck. So my interior piece was one off. So I'm here freaking out over nothing. All right, so let's do that again. Bring it down. Bring it on down to the underground. Yes. Let me see if this actually works to go back up. Oh, right, it doesn't. We already established that. And then we have this bad boy. Now this one I'm going to change a little bit because of this little discovery we made yesterday. First order chairs. Now Haskins has been using these chairs to some good effect. Didn't quite realize just how awesome they were for engines. Look at that. Maybe I should actually put this on the side. Oh, the side is good. I like the side. He uses on his whatchamacallit, Ewing. So I kind of like file that away for things I must do as well. Okay. So a couple little extras to go on here. These back ports are very useful. So we're going to get, oh, oops, little thrusters. No, you're a big one. You're a little one. Thank you, sir. And we're going to go below and add this as well. These are going to be your activation because you need to push the nose down. So this needs to be a 2. And it helps to counteract the front. This is 1. So those are your turn thrusters. These are going to counteract your up. No, not counteract, but assist with the up thrust. So they push down while the front pushes up. Quite a fun thing. Let's see what else we have going on. So now that we have that, the only thing that we need to do is get on the top part. Yeah. So let's figure out how we're going to bring this bad boy down. I think we're done with this. So get rid of this. And then, since this is an access port, I should probably make it a different color. Yeah, not white. Here, we're going to go with blue. 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 Velvet. Some words just trigger some songs. That's the way of the song. Okay, that's maybe a little bit too high. Bum, bum, bum. Really? Really? There we go. And I took offense to that. I took offense to that a lot. All right, here we go. We get that chair back. Still to the side. There we go. We have a fully built out engine. Now I'm going to have to do all the decorations and everything to this guy. My God. I have so much tweaking to do on this one. It's not funny. Yeah. Okay, we're going to come back to this in a second. Because you guys need to know what is going on with this. Okay, Jaded, see you later. Haskins! You mean using chairs, beds, and tables for detail are tight. Oh, ad break. Hey, Dr. Luna Bills, what's up? Which pod racer? Oh, I'm just working on a general pod racer. I was going to build Anakin's pod racer or Sebulba's, but those are like super popular, and I wanted to go back to the basics of the pod racer, which is like they literally throw two engines and chain them together and and just hit go. So it's a completely different mindset. So I just wanted to capture that whole thing. It's like if I were to build an engine, what and can we be used as a pod racer? So it's really at the very heart of pod racing instead of focusing on a particular build, because you can actually work a lot of the concepts much better this way and figure out how to make it work, and then once you have that set up, then you can go ahead and say build Anakin's pod racer and try to make it with work with the same concepts. It's a little bit more granular. Ooh, I said granular. Me, I'm smart. All right. No, I don't want that. Okay, what about this? And then can I do this? That's all I want to do. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to keep it. Yeah. Maybe one more. No, that's wider than 2, so we can't do it there. But it's off to a good start. All right, let's not get too caught up in the weeds there. Let's just do it to the bottom and top, and we can move on. She wore blue velvet. I don't know why I'm singing that song. Okay. So the next important part of this is I guess it's the details really. Let's get that off. These two almost match 100%. We're missing the front bit, but here is okay. Another important part that really needs to be done. We have a buildup under here. Now, directly under, we need to have 2 of these guys because we need to actually put, these pieces are made of iron. Now you can use a table or whatever, but I kind of like this because of the whole color scheme. And it has this slanted edge so that it can possibly help with some of the sliding that may occur when you're doing your pod racing. Now, question is, did I screw myself? Yes, I did. I did screw myself. So we have a bit of a problem here. All right, so we're going to take a step back and we're going to chain these guys together. So in the movies, the main chain is at the top and the cables come down. We don't have that kind of flexibility in the game. So recognize that early on and come to peace with it, because you are not going to get it like it is in the game. Sorry, in the movie. First things first. The next thing that you're going to have to deal with is the fact that you're going to want to get all fancy and everything, and you're going to want to go ahead and say use swivels because you want your thing to slide around. Bad idea. Very bad idea. Let me get the video for you. And I can show you why it's a bad idea. Where is my, you know, I have a button for that. Files. Videos. Sort. Descending. Is this the one? Did I delete it? Oh, you know what? I think I have it in my captures. Okay, so these are recent captures. What is this? Is this it? I think this is it. All right, so I built it, took a screenshot. Okay, I think this is it. So before I went to build the second one, I was really curious about how the seat would sit on it using a swivel. So I did attach a swivel, and it was interesting working with it. But it would always move around, but it will always cause so many issues, especially when it actually clipped right through the engine. It was very unstable. The worst part, though, and I did not record this, I wish I had, was when whenever the ship sat still. Actually, hold on, that's a lie. The ship wasn't able to sit still because the one thing that you know about swivels is that on dynamic objects, it causes them. It's the jitter, and it causes them to constantly move. So whenever I went to park the ship, when I stop it, I get out and it would just move away. It was absolutely ridiculous. So please, for the love of God, don't use swivels until they send in an announcement that swivels are completely fixed. Just get swivels out of your head for now, and focus on the parts that you can use. Just a static leash. Now to get my leash, I went, okay, so you can actually use a 15 if you wanted, or you could use a 10. I used the 15, which is coming off of the, no, not you, Supernova. So since this was already on the side, I had a position that I could put it up to. Right around there. And then it's going to be a matter of just moving it. Oh. That's bad. Let's try that again, shall we? She wore blue velvet. Oh. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I don't know why I'm singing the song. I can't stop myself. It's this earworm. And it's not like I've even heard the song. Last time I probably even heard it was via my stepfather, and that was like over 20 years ago. Maybe I heard it in a movie or something. I don't know. But the song is a song. Anyway. You want to set this. And then you want to do this with this because you want to have nice and flat. Oh, nope. Want to be able to control that. So, boom. And there. Ta-da! All done. That's a lie, of course. I'm lying. And now, for the main attraction. The thing we're all waiting for. Can he do it? He can do it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Now, here's the thing. Anything you put on here needs to be absolutely flush, but it needs to have space to work. And it needs to be able to go onto here. In some cases, this piece can't because there's not enough space for it. Now, if I were to take this back here, for instance, I now have space to work. So I can take that and bring it to the point that I want. So I'm not giving up early. I'm just going to put my piece so that I can work unimpeded. Get the junk out of the way. There, perfect. Now you can actually, if you want, you could do the thin version of this instead of the thick version. The thin version would be just a matter of using this in a different way. You know, let me just borrow this. Bring it over here. We are going to then, are we going to lose that piece? Okay, I'm attached, so we're good. Use this to go up, and then we're going to get a thin leash using Daft Punk right there. And this does attach a little differently. Okay, it may have to attach to another piece instead. Because we have to do, now because this piece goes this way and flat, we're attaching to the back of this with the wrong piece. So it likes to get a little complicated sometimes. So using this as your base, you might be able to then use this and bring it over, but you need to attach it at the right point, which might be there. So see, there. Now you're attaching to the side of that rather than at the other point. So you can take this and extend it back, and you'll get pretty much the same thing. If you want a different angle, try to use the Ninjago. It gives you a much longer leash that you can work with. Do we like the thin leash or do we like the fat leash? 9:32, we are closing in on the test. That's for sure. Ah! So much lightning. Stop it. I don't like lightning. Okay, am I on this piece? If I'm on this piece, I'm good. Perfect. So let's bring this out here. Here. Snap you off. Bring you out here. Break you off. Bring you up here. And then you can come over here. And ta-da! We now have a new attachment point. A little clumsy there. So if you want it a little smoother, you're going to have to find a way to make this work. But it does have to have something coming off of here. So let's say you want to use... Could this possibly fit on top of this? I mean, you could do something like that and try to hide some of what's going on. It's kind of sandwiched on top, but not really. Just depends on your aesthetics. But we're here for the leashing. So let's get the leashing on. We are, of course, going to have to come to deal with the fact that this has to end at some point and we have to go back flat. So yeah, this is the fun part. On the flat piece, you have a much easier job. When it comes to this leash. Good morning, Chris Carnage. Good to see you, man. You've come back for the shenanigans. Everybody always comes back for the shenanigans. All right, let's see. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? We got this. And we got that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of Monica in my life. Really? A little bit of Sandra in the sun. A little bit of Jessica. A little bit of you makes me your man. This is a stalker song. Mambo number 5. Apparently Stephen King played this song so many times that his wife threatened she threatened him because he had Mambo number 5 on play nonstop for like a whole day. Ooh, okay. So, how are we going to make this work? You ask? Did I hear you asking? If you didn't ask, that's okay. I'm going to tell you anyway. We are going to play with angles. Yay! In other words, we're gonna trick it into doing what we want. So, do you remember my whole... Where the heck am I? Oh, my whole lesson on how to make certain pieces work together. If you don't remember, that's okay. Don't expect everyone to remember it. But it's basically this. No. No. Why are you... What is wrong with you? See? Oh, son of a. Okay, you know what? Here. Fine. Fine. Be that way, Jessica. I'm going to call it Jessica. Because, see? That was turned wrong. So because it was turned wrong, it didn't want to play nice. So there we are. Jump up and down and move it all around. So there we are. Top of the leash. And we can break that away. And now build out a tiny carriage. So we're going to do that with this. Because this is super easy. I know Bram Ritter has been complaining that this is like an Anakin knockoff. This is just easy right now. It's the easiest thing that I can throw down. So deal with it, Bram. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put some stripes on it. Yeah, some stripes. Because I'm a rock star like that. Stripes. Stripes with a striped. All right. And this sled now has the capability of more thrusters. Little thrusters. One there. And one there. And now we add this is a 1. Goes opposite of whatever the front is. This is a 2. Throw in a seat. And this size, we can actually throw in a comfortable seat. So yeah, boy. I still have to come back and I'm going to have to do a whole thing on what is wrong? Oh, I know what happened. I'm going to have to log out and come back. Because I threw on a pressure plate. Pressure plate is going to activate everything. Nope. Pressure plate stopped activating. Okay, so there they go. Now everything's firing up. There's a little bug right now when you throw on a pressure plate, and then when you try to use the and you activate it, and then when you try to use your thrusters, it doesn't work. So you have to literally log out. All right, 9:41. I'm going to have to do the center piece first, since we're so close. If you have done everything from yesterday's lesson, you should know how to do this over here. The key thing that I have to say is make sure that everything is centered. Don't be off. If you're off by one stud, or you're off by one half block, whatever, it's not going to work. It's going to be drifting, going all over the place, and you're going to be there fighting it for a couple of hours. So I think tomorrow we're going to come back and tune everything. But right now we need to kind of finish this up so that you have most of the build together at least. I have to run off. I'm supposed to be downtown today. Guess who is not downtown right now? Yeah, this guy. So I'm going to have to jump in an Uber and join the call. While in the car. Because it's about a half-hour ride. All right, so this part is actually surprisingly easy. Once you have a certain things in place, it just makes everything easier. These are set to channel, guess what? 4. So these will help your up thrust. But because of the placement of them, we can go over to lights. Set it to Ninjago. And grab our beam lights. These guys. Now, this is what I was saying. This is useful because point your cursor or your controller at the thruster, and it's going to move it into place. You can, of course, build this out a little further so you have a better attachment point. So this can afford to be a little bit longer. Don't be afraid to experiment. Now, cursor, where are you? Get off. There we go. Point the cursor. We know this needs to be this way, so bring it back over. And there. Now, we're not going to stop there. We are going to take the next step, and we're still in Ninjago. Go to the floor lamps. This is what I've used. You can build a different housing. If you come up with something else that looks like super fantastic, I want to see it. Because, I mean, I would love to have as many ideas as possible. I'm not going to say this is the best, but right now this is like the best one that I've come up with for my needs. It adds light. It adds a bit more of a mechanical look. It does the job that I need to do right now. I mean, I can even adding a couple more little knickknacks. Let's see. What other knickknacks can we add? Little mechanical stuff. You got the radiator. Is always fun. But remember, this is your ship. No one can really tell you what works for you or not. So, knock yourself out. Oh, that's actually looking pretty interesting. Knock yourself out. Make it look cool. Do whatever you want with it. But you know, that's the decoration side. See, you got a lot going on there. You can do so much with this. Just have fun with it. Okay, I'm just gonna slap these guys on. But there, you have your center piece, and I have a fair amount of building to do on this front end, so I'm not going to be able to fully demonstrate this. But I did want to address 2 points about the front piece before we get back here tomorrow. And it's that the thrusters, especially this middle piece right here, was like kind of really important because this has 2 thrusters in here. So it's been replaced with from the block that it used to be to a more functional piece that has a thruster going down and a thruster going up. Which means, of course, that the side of it okay, there we go. Side of it is a little different. Down. Okay, so down and back one. back one. Ooh. Okay, perfect. So that should now line up to there, to the absolute front of that. I can put, what am I putting? I'm putting the pressure plate. Oh, Haskins has finally released the song, so you can go ahead, the Fortnite anthem. So you can go ahead and find that on YouTube. And Kitty, do we have a link to it? Haskins, can you put a link if you're able to? Anybody? Any of my moderators? If you have the link to the Haskins Fortnite Odyssey anthem, please put it up. Ooh. No. I messed that up. I messed that up bad. Yeah, I messed that up pretty bad. All right. Let's see. All right, and on that, we can actually add our table now. But this is like one of the more important pieces there. And this is channel 4. This is channel 4. All right, now we can just move over here, grab a table. This is not table. This is a table. No, that's a chair. It's a table. So according to whatever design you have going on, you can go and grab your table and slap it into the middle there. Now you have your table all set. So like I said, I have a fair amount of design to do on this bit. And this, this kind of work takes is attention to detail. So it does take a while. So I'm not going to make you guys sit through that because we don't have time for it. Something that I'm going to have to do off screen, and we're going to come back tomorrow and do the tuning for this. So I'm going to leave you with the what am I leaving you with? Actual flight of the completed one. I would like to say they're both identical, but we know they're not. I've made a couple of changes on this to make it a little easier to build and to repair. But you have all your thrusters all set. You know what the settings are. And it works. When you go and you fly, you should have the same controls. Ooh, something's in the way. It does about a nice barrel roll. You just have to let it. Ah, come on, come on, come on. Yeah. But I hope to be pod racing with you guys pretty soon. If you have any ideas and you want to take part in a pod race, let us know. We'll try to set up something. If we can get something set up with Craftopia, even better. Ah, no. We do have a crossover with the Craftopia audience here. But that takes a little bit of organization. And, sometimes I like to keep things casual. But it would be cool to actually have, to see some of your pod racers in action because I know you guys are out there building, learning, building, and just doing awesome stuff. I'm the Mad Puck 66. I stream every day from 8:30 a.m. till 10 a.m. Can we throw some links to the Discord and Graftopia? Graftopia does have a flying battles in the coming up on Saturday at 6 p.m. Is run by Lewis, and that should be an awesome time. We were fooling around with the flight dynamics over here in our world. Rooster came up with the flying cannons, and you'll get to see one of Rooster's behemoths in the flight control. Yes, Chris Carnage, you have to get in. Just let me know when you want to come in and design your own, or just come in and build this one. But everyone can come and have a pod race. You can come in. We'll set up a whole course, and we'll see if we can actually make a nice community event out of it. Now I have to get Kaboom to come and test this out. It's a slightly different experience than your regular flight. I'll tell you that. I'm telling you that a lot these days. But I was actually looking at adding the mountains as part of it, because I mean there's some really cool locations over here. Oh, look, there's the needle. We're gonna thread the needle. Let's thread the needle. Once you can get this flying straight, it's so much easier. Come on. Ah! Yes, needle threaded. Accomplishment. I have accomplished it. I have done it. I want to thread more needles. Anyway, I'm the Mad Puck 66. I stream every day from 8:30 a.m. till 10 a.m. when I have to run off to work, which is like right now. Oh no, come back here, you. I build live in Lego Fortnite. Always live builds. Always something epic. Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it. It's happening over here. We do like some impossible recreations of Star Wars ships and buildings from fantasy and science fiction, and we just try to have a good time with it. Ow! Sometimes you crash. I mean, okay, that's a lie. You crash a lot. Anyway, if you're new here, please leave a like, subscribe, do all the internet things. I can't talk and fly at the same time. What am I trying to do? The rest of you guys who keep coming back and hanging out, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Love you guys, and I will see you in the next stream. We're pod racing, everyone. Woo!
She said, give me another minute, I'll be there in an hour. Okay. I swore I was finished, she took my powers and she got me. So if you ever wonder what love's all about, be careful who you pick. Yes, they might break you out with their